And that leads us into our next kind of category, right? And it's, let's talk about that next group. Who could potentially be breakout type players this year? We're talking about Jayson Ademilola and Riley Mills at that position. You've mentioned those guys a couple of times. Do you see these guys taking that next step and really taking over the defensive tackle spot?
They're capable of it. I try not to get into the predicting game because then people grab onto that and
it's all your fault when it doesn't happen.
Well, that's not what I mean. I just think sometimes people can take a prediction not the way that I intend it to be made. And so I want to be clear. I think they're both capable of being outstanding players and being outstanding players in 2021, not like down the road. I think they're both capable of it. Look, Jayson Ademilola is a guy we've talked a lot about this offseason. And he's a guy that came to Notre Dame as a top 100 recruit, played as a freshman. He's been a rotation guy from the moment he stepped foot on campus.
Yeah, he has.
And every time he was on the verge of kind of season hold of that 3 technique position, he's been injured.
Yep.
Now, it's never been like a major injury, but it's just been like couple games, and it's prevented him from taking that next step. So, number one, he's got to stay on the field.
Yeah.
And that's going to be an important piece to this. But number two, he's now going to be asked to be an every down type of player. And that's not something he's necessarily been in his career before. And I think because he is an undersized player, he's 275 pounds, because he is a smaller player, it was harder for him to, I think, maybe be that guy as a freshman and sophomore. Just physically, he needed the weight room work and he needed all that.
Sure.
Well, even though he's 275 pounds now, maybe 280 on a good day, it's a different type of 275 than it was when he was a freshman. It's a stronger, firmer, more solid 275, which I think allows him to now be in position to be more of a 3-down player. Is he going to play 60 snaps a game? Hope not. I don't want any of the defensive linemen to play 60 snaps a game. Number one, I want them to be getting off the field more often as a defense. And number two, I take advantage of the depth. So he's a guy that, to me, can be an every down player, but more so, and here's to me why I'm excited about what Jayson Ademilola could bring to the defense this year. To me, he is very similar in size and skill set and to Sheldon Day. Okay. Now, we've talked about the two, to me, the 3 best interior defenders Notre Dame has had in the last decade under Brian Kelly is Louis Nix, Jerry Tillery, and Sheldon Day. And they're completely different players. Like, none of them are similar. I mean, Louis Nix was a thumper, a plugger. Jerry Tillery was more of a pass rusher. Sheldon Day had, I think, 4.5 sacks as a senior, but he had 15.5 tackles for loss. That means he was making play after play in the run game. To me, that's more of what I expect from Jayson Ademilola. Will he have 15.5 tackles for loss? I'm not saying that.
That's a lot.
Would I be shocked by it? Not really. Part of the reason I'd be shocked by it is more because just teams don't run as much as they did even 5 years ago when Notre Dame was playing in 2015. Just the schedule is more of what I'm referring to. There are plenty of teams that run the ball more. I'm more referring to specifically the schedule that Notre Dame is going to play in 2021. But to me, it's a similar skill set too, right? Like, Sheldon Day was on the shorter side. Jayson Ademilola is actually longer than Sheldon. Similar size. I think Sheldon probably weighed a little bit more, but it was in a little bit more of a stocky type of. So there's some physical differences, but overall, I think their skill set is similar. Fast hands, strong hands, know how to use their hands, penetrator, close on the football, disruptive on the ball. That's the thing I think Jayson Ademilola has shown flashes of that now he needs to show on a consistent basis, because in this defense, you need your interior players to be more disruptive, not just open up a hole for a linebacker to run through. That's fine and dandy, and that's obviously what they're going to want to do. This is very much a linebacker-driven defense, but he understands that, and this is the philosophy that Mike Elko and Clark Lee started, and I think Marcus Freeman's going to take to the next level, which is, who's closest to the football? It's your defensive linemen.
Yep.
Who are the closest group to the running back and the quarterback? It's your defensive linemen.
Right.
Put them in position to then go impact the football. And then if they don't make it, then you've got the linebackers to clean it up. And so I think that is something we're going to see more of under Marcus Freeman. And this is a defender in Jayson Ademilola who not only can take advantage, Notre Dame needs him to take advantage. They need him to finally put it all together and go from being that really flashy player at times that one year's a great run defender, the next year's a great pass defender, to kind of become that guy all the time. And if he can kind of take advantage of the opportunity that's being placed in front of him, stay on the field, show some of the maturity you need to kind of seize hold of that I'm a starter now, leader, people are looking at me role, he could be one of the biggest breakouts that Notre Dame has, but also a national breakout. I mean, if he goes out there and has the kind of year I think he's capable of, playing 35, 45 snaps a game, he could be a 10 to 12 tackle for loss guy and be one of those guys that you look at when Notre Dame's ranked as a top 10 defense again and saying, yeah, he's a big reason why that's the case.